In the afternoon of December 18th of 2022, VoteSaxon07, a YouTuber that had amassed over 40,000 subscribers, real name Stephen McCullagh, is about to go live on his channel where he intends to play GTA Vice City all night. While it did seem out of the blue for him to be playing GTA, on the surface it seemed like a completely normal livestream. He was playing through the missions, asking his chat questions, listening to music, and having a few drinks while he did. But while his viewers were excited to spend time with Stephen while watching his stream, in reality, nothing could prepare them for what was really going on. At the same time this stream was occurring, Natalie McNally, Stephen's girlfriend and 15 weeks pregnant with their child, was sadly attacked at her Silverwoods Green home in Lurgan, North Ireland, and didn't survive. And despite him seemingly being live while it was taking place, the suspect on trial for her murder is none other than Stephen himself. But how could he be live streaming and have carried out this attack? And more importantly, why would he do it? And given that his trial is currently taking place as you're watching this, it seems the answer to this 4-year-long question is finally coming to a close. So today, we will retell the backstory behind the most tragic and most disturbing GTA livestream to ever take place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Stephen McCullagh, better known online as VoteSaxon07, was a relatively well-known YouTuber in the niche of collector items. His content was mainly focused around reviewing and showcasing various toys and figurines from hit TV shows and movies, like Star Wars, Doctor Who, Toy Story, and any franchise that was popular at the time. He was also a pretty avid live streamer, playing anything that happened to catch his attention that week. However, his live streams had seemingly come to an abrupt halt around late 2021, but his live stream schedule was anything but frequent to begin with, which is why it would be both strange but also a nice surprise to his viewers when Stephen would decide to randomly go live on December 18th of 2022, over a year since his last stream.
Hey, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Yeah, a little bit out of the blue, this, isn't it? Yes, so, hello to all in this glorious Sunday evening. Yeah, so I just thought, why not? I'm gonna do a live stream because this day next week is Christmas. So what more could you want for Christmas other than an evening with your old pal Stephen?
After rambling a bit to his audience about life updates, plans for the stream, and technical issues, he would continue playing Vice City for the rest of the night. One of these technical issues, however, was that his OBS couldn't show the chat, so for the entire stream, he stated he was unable to read any messages from his viewers.
What are we doing tonight? Well, because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. So, by all means, talk amongst yourselves. I could use my phone to dip in every now and again and check it, but I've decided that I kind of hate live streams where people just sit and read comments and go, "Oh my god, yes, ask me questions, better." And also, if I go on my phone for too long, I'll end up just scrolling through TikTok, and the amount of time that I've lost scrolling through TikTok is unbelievable. So yeah, phone's away. Can't look at the live chat for some bloody reason, because if I do, it makes the whole thing freeze and OBS just screws up.
But beyond the slight hiccups, the stream proceeded as normal. He would spend the next 5 hours playing through various missions, listening to music and having a few drinks, and would eventually get bored of Vice City and would switch over to play something he was known for on the channel, Robot Wars Extreme Destruction. And after playing that for another hour, he would decide to head off at around midnight on that day, but not before saying a few words before ending the stream and going to bed.
But yes, I think the message rings true that Christmas, it's not about the shopping, it's not about the lights and the tinsel and all that crap. It's literally just about having some time off to enjoy spending time with the people that you love. So hopefully I've done that tonight and given you a couple of hours of madness of me freaking out. So until next time, everyone, thank you for watching. Good night.
Unfortunately, however, the morning of the 19th was anything but a day filled with love for the family and friends of 32-year-old Natalie McNally and Stephen's girlfriend at the time. That day, no one could get a hold of Natalie. People had been constantly messaging Natalie to see where she was, to ultimately no answer. With her whereabouts unknown, Stephen would tell Natalie's parents that he would go over to her house to try and find out where she was or what had happened to her, which is when the world would find out the reality of Natalie's situation. On the morning of December 19th, 2022, Natalie McNally, 15 weeks pregnant with her and Stephen's child, was sadly found dead in her home around 9 a.m. Stephen would immediately call the police and would also break the heartbreaking news to her parents and close family. Almost immediately after the police had surveyed the scene, investigators worked to try and solve what had happened, and more importantly, who had done it. That is when Stephen was detained by police and brought to the police station a few kilometers away for questioning. However, after explaining to investigators that he had been live streaming around the time of the attack, he was ultimately let go. Given that Stephen was their only real person of interest in this crime, investigators were now left at a dead end. The only clues they had managed to obtain related to the case was CCTV footage that shows a man walking towards Natalie's house around the time of the attack, and then leaving half an hour later. Investigators believe that whoever this man was in the footage had to be the one that ultimately took Natalie's life that day. Cameras would continue to track this man until he eventually got into a taxi and drove off shortly after leaving her home. And after weeks of gathering the CCTV footage of the route the taxi took, it left investigators with a big clue. The last time the taxi was seen on footage that night was turning on to Stephen Street in Lisburn, North Ireland. How was it that the man they believed to have ended Natalie that night could be taking a taxi to Stephen Street, but Stephen was streaming at the time of the attack?
Is there a taxi? Oh god, let there be a fucking taxi. There's a taxi, yay. Get inside the taxi. Do a drive for me, please.
Something wasn't adding up. Investigators decided to take a look at Stephen's stream from that night, which was fortunately still up on YouTube, and they quickly noticed some abnormalities with the live stream. I had mentioned earlier that Stephen wasn't able to read the chat due to technical difficulties. While he could be telling the truth, it's almost hard to believe that you would be able to run the stream for that long, but not also be able to run the chat within OBS. Assuming as well that another explanation for not responding to viewers' real-time messages is because the stream wasn't running in real time.
Hey, and we're live. A little bit better framed, but that's the fun of being live. Streaming software. Is it streaming? Yes, it is. Oh, thank God. In fact, I'm still live. Good.
When investigators realized this, they decided to check the data for the stream's video file to make sure everything that Stephen had told them had checked out. And what they found left them with even more questions than answers. Investigators had found that the entire live stream that viewers had watched for hours the night of the attack was actually just a pre-recorded video that had been filmed on December 14th, 4 days before the attack. But why would he do this? Why pre-record a live stream and pretend that it's taking place on another day? Not to mention the same day and time that his girlfriend would ultimately be attacked.
Yes, so, hello to all on this glorious Sunday evening. So I just thought, why not? I'm gonna do a live stream. I'll do to midnight, I think, or thereabouts, and I think I'll call it a night. I've got work tomorrow as well. And again, it's my final week, so work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, off Thursday, off Friday, off Christmas Day, off Boxing Day, off a couple of days after that, back into work on Wednesday, then off until New Year's. So it'll be enough time to rest, relax, spend time with my loved ones. Actually, it'll be a really fucking good Christmas this year.
With everything that investigators had found out from the fake live stream connected with the taxi that turned onto Stephen Street, they only had one suspicion: that the live stream of him playing Vice City all night was simply an alibi for whatever Stephen was truly doing that night. This newfound reality of the stream makes some clips from it even more ominous given what investigators now know.
Fucking unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. So I thought you were supposed to like run him off the road and kill him, much like your woman. I need to kill this bitch. I need to take her down. Attack, panic, attack. That's what we're doing. Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Absolutely. Absolutely.
With all of this suspicion, Stephen would be rearrested by police in January of 2023. His computer was seized, his phone was taken, and Stephen was questioned by the police again. A forensic search of Stephen's computer showed that no one had even been using his computer from the hours of 4 p.m. to midnight on the night of the 18th, proving for good that the Vice City livestream was a complete fake and pre-recorded. In fact, Stephen would even admit to this. Not only that, but his search history revealed that he had Googled the train and bus times from Lisburn to Lurgan the night before the attack, the two places that both Stephen and Natalie had lived at the time. Investigators had also found a recording on Stephen's phone of her family speaking from the day of Natalie's vigil, which investigators believed his intent was to find out if her family believed he was guilty or not. When questioned about all of this evidence, Stephen was far less adamant about helping the police than he had been a month prior, responding to every question with the simple phrase, "No comment." Everything pointed to one conclusion: that Stephen was the man who tragically attacked Natalie McNally and ended her and their unborn child on December 18th of 2022. Investigators decided that they had more than enough evidence to charge Stephen McCullagh with first-degree murder. Stephen has since remained in jail until his trial began this year on March 2nd, and given that all of the evidence has been presented at this point, and both sides have given their closing arguments, all that is left is for the jury to make a decision on Stephen's case. And given that Stephen refused to provide any evidence of himself being innocent of this crime, there's only one conclusion that seems to hold true: that although she might not be with them anymore, it seems that Natalie's family and friends will finally see justice brought to the man that stole her from them all too soon. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.